This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So, yesterday I was talking about how to create a table, how to insert the data in the table, and how to update the data in the table, and how to delete the data from the table, and how to select the data from the table, how to read the data from the table. We learned about all the CRUD operations, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ramji.
So I told that all these CRUD operations are with respect to data in the table, correct? We are creating the data,
Yes.
deleting the data, we are reading the data, we are updating the data, correct? Though
Yes.
all these
Yeah.
CRUD operations are with respect to data, not with respect to the table, correct?
Yes.
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 Of course, we are creating a table. We are creating a table, but table is not the data. The actual data is stored inside the table, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We are creating the table. We are using create table query. We are using create table, table name, and we are defining some columns in the table, correct?
Yes.
So that
Yes.
is about table definition. That is called table you're defining the table. You're creating a table means you're defining the table. So this is how the table is defined. So this table has three columns like employee ID, employee name, and salary. So the employee ID is number column, the employee name is varchar2, and the salary is number column. So that is how you're defining the table. That is the table definition. You're creating a table means you're defining the table, correct?
Yes.
That is
Yes.
with respect to definition of the data. That is the data definition. That is not the actual data. That is the data definition, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
data
Yes.
definition is different and the actual data is different. So yesterday we learned all the operations with respect to actual data. I told you how to create the data by using the insert query. You are inserting the data inside the table. You are deleting the data from the table. You are updating the data in the table. You are reading the data from the table. So we did all these CRUD operations with respect to actual data. And you also know how to define the data. You also define the data by creating a table, correct?
Yes, Ramji.
Yeah.
That is
Yes.
the data definition. I want everyone to understand the difference between the data definition and the actual data. So the data definition is nothing but how you're defining the data, how many columns you're having in the table, and what is the type of data you're storing in each column. So is it a number type, or is it a varchar2, or is it a date, or there are different types of data, correct?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that is about the data definition. So now tell me, when I run this query, when I run uh, create table, okay, create table, I'm creating a sample table, name of the table is sample. Otherwise create table vehicle table, okay, create table vehicle, and I'll give you vehicle ID, which is number type of 4, comma, vehicle name, which is varchar2. Only two columns in this particular table, okay. So I created the table, correct? So
Yes, Ramji.
this particular query, what type of query it is? It is a data definition query, correct?
Yes, Ramji.
Yeah.
You're defining the data by creating a table. You're creating a new table. It means you're defining. You're giving a definition of the data that is stored in the table, correct?
Yes.
So this is called DDL query. It's a data definition language. This is a DDL query. This is a data definition query. Okay. Did everyone
Okay,
understand
Ramji.
it?
Yes.
Yes.
So similarly, suppose if I write insert into vehicle, insert into vehicle. So values, I have to insert the values. The vehicle ID is 100. The vehicle name is from SDFG, something like this. So one row is created. So now I created one record in the table, correct? I
Yes.
created one record in the table. So what
Yes.
type of query it is? Is it a data definition query?
Manipulation.
It's a data manipulation query, correct? You are manipulating
Yeah.
the data. You are entering a new data in the table, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is everyone following me?
Yes, Ramji.
Yes,
Yes.
Ramji.
Ramji.
So I'm not defining any data in this by using this query. By using this query, I'm inserting some data. I'm inserting the actual data. I'm manipulating the data in the table. Okay. For example, if I use delete query, delete from vehicle, delete from vehicle where vehicle ID equal to 100. So one row got deleted, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Here there is one record with ID 100. You are deleting that record with ID 100, correct? So it
Yes.
means this particular query is also a DML query. It's a data manipulation query. You are manipulating the data in the table. You are deleting the data. You are doing some modifications in the data. Actually, earlier there are 100 records. Now you deleted one record. So now there are 99 records. It means the data is manipulated, correct? The data is modified in the table. Agreed?
Yes, Ram.
Yeah.
Earlier you have some amount of data in the table. Now you modified the data because you deleted one record. So now the data is modified. Now you have only 99 records. The 100th record is deleted. So the delete query is a DML query. The insert query is also a DML query because you're manipulating the data. You're modifying the data. Initially you have 100 records in the table. Now you inserted another record. So you have 101 records now. Correct? You modified the data in the table. Correct?
Yes, Ram.
Manipulating the data in the table. Agreed? So this query is called a DML query, and this query is also called a DML query. For example, if I write update, so suppose update vehicle table, set vehicle name, set vname equal to name of the column is vname, set vname is equal to some vname where vehicle ID equal to 100. Okay, suppose let us assume that there is a record with vehicle ID 100. So now I write this query. Now the name will be updated, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
It means I'm manipulating the data again. I'm modifying the data in the table, agreed? I'm modifying the
Yes.
existing data, agreed?
Yes.
So all these queries are manipulating the data, like delete query, update query, and insert query are manipulating the data. They are manipulating the data, agreed?
Yes.
Yes.
Manipulating the actual data in the table. So these three queries are called DML queries. These three queries are called DML queries. Whereas the create table query, you are creating a table, you're creating the definition of a table. That is a DDL query. You're defining that is the data definition query, correct?
Yes,
That is
Ramji.
DDL query. There are two types of queries, DDL and DML. So DDL query means it's a data definition query. DML means data manipulation query. If you're manipulating the actual data, that is DML. If you're defining the data, that is DDL. Any questions here?
No.
No, Ramji.
No.
Okay. So I
Uh,
told that forget about select query. I'm not talking about select query now. Select query is not a DML query. Select query is not a DDL query. Because using select query, you are not modifying any data, correct?
yes.
Yes.
Just reading the
Yes.
data. Select query is used to read the data, not for manipulating the data, correct?
Yes.
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 So select query is not a DDL query or DML query. It's neither a DDL query nor DML query. Okay, it's a
Okay, Ramji.
distinct query. You need not worry about what is select query at this point of time.
Okay, Ramji.
Okay, so the I told that data is very important for any application. Obviously, I am a customer of Wells Fargo Bank. I have an account in the Wells Fargo Bank. So my data will be there in the Wells Fargo database, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wells Fargo company has some database. They install some database and they are storing the data in the database, correct?
Yeah.
So, for example, by mistake, they have written a delete query. One person wrote a delete query. So, delete from customers table where customer name equal to Ramji. So, my record is deleted, correct?
Yes.
By mistake, he wrote that query. By mistake, he deleted my account. So can bank come to you and say that, hey, I'm sorry, by mistake we deleted your account, so we don't know what is the balance in your account. so we can't pay any amount to you. If the bank says like that, will you agree?
No.
No.
The bank doesn't know how much balance is there in your account. How can bank can pay the amount to you? Because it completely deleted the data from the database, correct?
Yes.
There is no
Yes.
data available now. So they don't know, because they don't know how much balance is available in each and every customer account, correct? Can they
Yes.
remember each and every customer account how much balance is there? That is the reason we are storing the entire thing in database. We need not remember anything, correct? They have millions of
Yes.
customers. Can they remember each and every customer profile and the customer account details and customer transaction details? They can't remember, right? Getting it?
Yes, Ramani.
Yes, Ranjit.
So by mistake, if you deleted the data, or by mistake if you update the data, suppose if you update, so one person came and wrote the query, the Wells Fargo developer, the developer for the Wells Fargo company, whoever is developing the application for the Wells Fargo, that particular developer wrote a query because he has access to the database, correct? We don't have access to the database, but the Wells Fargo developers have access to the database, correct?
Yes.
The developers, the software developers of the Wells Fargo company have access to the database of the Wells Fargo, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So if that particular developer has by mistake, if he wrote a query, a update customer table, set balance equal to 1 million, so where customer name equal to some ABC. So by mistake he wrote the query, or by mistake he said that update customer table set the balance equal to 0, where customer name equal to some ABC. So he updated the balance to 0 by mistake. Getting it?
Yes.
Yes.
If the
Yes,
balance
Ranjit.
is 0, will the customer agree for that? So if the bank says that he went to ATM to draw the money, but his account is showing 0 balance, but he is supposed to have some $100K in the account, but he is seeing $0, will he agree for that? Will he I mean, definitely it's a problem to the company, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So whatever these data manipulation queries I'm talking about, when you're updating the data by mistake, when you're deleting the data by mistake, or when you're inserting the data by mistake, getting it? All these data manipulation queries, the data will not be saved in the database. So it will be saved in the database only when you commit the record in the when you commit you after see, for example, if I exit, otherwise I have to just say commit. When I say commit, so after writing the delete query, the data will not be deleted from the table. The data will not be deleted from the table. It will be deleted from the table only when you commit it. Getting it?
Okay.
Yes.
Deleting the record, so you have to write a commit query. When you say commit, then it will be committed. Otherwise, it will not be committed. Getting it?
Yes,
Otherwise,
Ramani.
Yes.
data is still present in the table.
Right.
So let me show you that. So let me insert a query again. Let me insert the record again. I inserted one record, but did I commit the record?
No.
So
No.
what are the changes I made in the table? Because these are the DML queries, the insert query, update query, and delete query. These are the DML queries, correct? You are manipulating
Yes.
some data. So if you do by mistake, that's fine. It will not be saved in the database until and unless you commit it. If you commit it, then no one can help you. Getting it? So
Yes.
they are not completely the
Hello.
record is not saved in the database until and unless you commit it.
Ramji, I can't hear you. Hello.
Yeah, tell me. Harsha, can you hear me?
Hello.
Harsha, can you hear me? What about others?
We can hear you,
Good.
Ramji.
Be good.
Fine. So what I'm saying is, even though you do it by mistake, that's fine. It will not be saved in the database until and unless you commit it. So you have to commit the record, then only it will be committed. Now the commit is complete, correct? You have to send a query. You have to send a query to the database. Hey database, please commit all the uncommitted records. When you send a commit query, so the database will see what are the uncommitted records till now, and it will commit all those uncommitted records. Then it will be permanently stored in the table. Getting it?
Yes.
So in this particular session, so I log in, right? I enter the username and I enter the password and I connected to the database, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enter the username, I enter the password, and I establish the connectivity between client and server. Agreed?
Yes.
Now from the client, I'm sending a query to the database, correct?
Yeah.
Because database understands only query language. It doesn't understand any other language. That's the reason client is sending a query to the database server, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So when the client when you create a session, so for example, listen carefully. So when I exit it and when I open a SQL developer or sorry SQL plus, so when I open the SQL plus client, this is a client to talk to database. This is a client to talk to database. So I'll enter the username as December 2019 and December 2019. So now I connected to the database, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Listen carefully. So this is the client and this is the server. Now client uh, client sent the username and password to the server and created a connectivity between the client and server, correct?
Yeah.
Now the connectivity is established. Now the client can communicate with the database, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is one when the connectivity is established. So there is one session created for the client. There is one session created for the client. One session created for the client. So in that particular session, in that particular connection, so in that particular connection, in that particular session, whatever the queries he is sending, whatever the queries he is sending, what are the DML queries, whatever the DML queries he is sending. For example, he sent 5 insert queries. Insert into vehicle, insert into vehicle, insert into vehicle. He sent 5 queries. He sent 5. He inserted 5 records in the vehicle table. Okay.
Okay.
So in the same session, if we send the commit query, then the database will check what are the uncommitted records in this particular session. What are the uncommitted records till now? How many uncommitted records are there? There are 5 uncommitted records, correct? Because you send the
Yes.
five insert queries in that particular session. So that when you send a commit through in the same session means in the same connection, the connection is established, right? You created the connectivity between client and server, correct? For example,
Yeah.
if the other person also has a SQL plus in his laptop, this is the first laptop and this is the second laptop and this is the third laptop. In the third laptop you have a database server installed, correct?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
in the first laptop, you install the SQL Plus client, and in the second laptop also, you install the SQL Plus client. And the first person came and is talking with the database. Second person also came and is talking to the sorry. Second person also came and is talking to the database. If he has to talk to the database, he has to create a connectivity to the database. Correct? The connectivity should be established between this client and server. The connectivity should be established between this client and server. So both the clients are speaking to the same server.
Yeah.
So the entire data is present in this database. The data is present in these tables, in this database. So the first client is asking, hey, I need this particular data. So he's sending a query. The second client also came and he is also sending a query to the database. So multiple clients can speak to the database in parallel. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes, sir.
for example, there are 5 students in this class. So the first person can ask me some question. At the same time, the second person also can ask me some question. Both the people are asking me some doubts at the same time. So if I'm capable enough to understand both the queries, the query asked by you and the query asked by the other person, if my mind is capable enough to understand both the questions, So maybe I can answer both of you at the same time if I'm capable enough, correct?
Yes,
Obviously, humans are not
Yes, Ram.
capable to talk to multiple people at the same time. Obviously, humans are not capable to talk to multiple people at the same time, correct?
Yes.
But but obviously, this is not a human. This is a system. This is a software. The database is a software, correct? So it
Yeah.
has the capability to answer multiple people queries at the same time. The first person is asking the database, "Hey, database, give me the data from the employee table." The other person, the other client is asking, "Hey, database, give me the data from the student table." So he is asking a different query and he is asking a different query. Obviously, database will give the response for this query and database will give the response for this query, correct?
Yes.
So similarly, the one more person can come and he can also establish the connectivity. So this is the fourth laptop where the fourth person installed the SQL Plus in his laptop and he is talking to this particular database. So three people are talking to the database at the same time and the database is responding to all the three people, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, so this particular client created a connection to the server. So this particular client session. This is the session created for the first client, and this is the session created for the second client, and this is the session created for the third client. Correct? There are three sessions created in the database. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so for example, this particular client sent 5 insert queries, and this particular person sent 3 insert queries, and this particular person sent 2 insert queries. So 5 insert queries were sent in this session, and 3 insert queries were sent in this session, and 2 insert queries were sent in this session. Okay.
Correct.
Yes.
Now the second person is sending a commit. When the second person sends a commit query, so obviously only these 3 queries will be committed. All the other these 5 queries will not be committed. These 2 queries will not be committed because the database will check how many uncommitted records are there in this particular session. Getting it? It
Yes,
will
Yes.
Ramji.
commit only the uncommitted records in this particular session because this is the session where you are sending a commit query. So these 5 records are not committed. These 2 records are not committed. Only these 3 records are committed because the second person is sending a commit query. The first person did not send a commit query. The third person did not send a commit query. Getting it?
Yes, Ram.
Yeah.
Everyone. I want everyone to respond.
Yes.
You are
Yes.
breaking for me, Ramji, so I could not say. I have to go through the recording. You are breaking, and I
What
think
else,
I'm.
brother?
Yes, understood.
Yes, Ram.
Yes, Ramji.
But I need response from everyone. If you are sitting idle, I don't know whether you're listening or you're doing some other work. When I ask something, please respond. I told multiple times. So there are 3 sessions established here because the first client established a session, the second client established a session, the third client established a session. Now the first client is sending five queries, and the second client is sending 3 queries. The third client is sending 2 queries. So all these are insert queries. They are DML queries, the data manipulation queries. So the data manipulation queries will not be stored. The DML queries, whatever the manipulations you are doing, those manipulations will not be saved in the database until and unless you commit it. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Database is giving you that flexibility because database is thinking, say by mistake you might have run that query, so it will not store the data until and unless you say that commit this, until and unless you explicitly say, hey, commit this record in the database. So until and unless you say it, the database will not commit it. That is the advantage with the database. Even though you do it something by mistake, so that will not be saved in the database. Getting it?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
Ram.
So until and unless you say commit, so all the uncommitted records in that particular session will be committed. So right now, if the second person sent a commit query, so then the database will receive that commit query from the second session. So database will commit all the 3 uncommitted records because there are 3 uncommitted records in the database, correct?
Yes, Ramji.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So those 3 uncommitted records are stored in some temporary place in the database. It is not stored in the table. It is stored in some temporary place. So when you send a commit query, so it will go and grab all those uncommitted records from the temporary place and store it in the table permanently.
Okay.
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 So,
Okay.
for example, the first client created a session, then later he felt that later he terminated the connection. He said that exit. Sorry. So just now I created a session, right? Connected to the database, and one session is created for me, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
So now when I say exit, obviously the connectivity is gone. So whatever the connectivity, the session is gone, right?
Yes.
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 Because I said exit. So when I say exit, so this connectivity is gone. This particular, there is no connectivity between client and server now, correct? That connectivity is gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yes.
it means the session is gone. So now all the five queries that he inserted, those queries are not saved in the database, agreed? Because the session is gone.
Yes.
Yes.
Mm.
So now when he creates a new session again, the same client. Now again I open the client SQL plus in this and I create a new session now. I enter.
December 2000.
Now a new session will be created. The old session is gone, correct? Now
Yes.
even
Yeah.
if I say commit, nothing will happen because the old session is gone. Whenever you say commit, the database will commit only the uncommitted records in that particular session.
Okay.
Getting it?
Yes.
Yes.
You understand this point?
Yes,
Yes,
Ram.
Ramji.
So that is the reason on the first day when I created the employee table and when I inserted some data in the table, and in the second session there is no records in the table, correct? Because I did not commit it, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
On the first day I stored some data in the table, and on the second day when I try to open the table, I don't see any records in the table because the data is never committed in the table, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the old session is gone. In the new session, obviously the data is not there. The second session don't see the data in the table, correct? Because that is not
Yeah.
stored in the table. Any questions here?
No, Ram.
So now let us see.
No,
No,
Ram.
Ramsey.
Let us start
Yeah.
from vehicle. I see one record because I committed the record in the vehicle table, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now suppose if I delete from vehicle. So record is deleted, correct? All the records are deleted. So because I did not say which record to be deleted, I did not say where condition, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just say delete from vehicle. So in the vehicle table, all the records will be deleted, correct?
Yes.
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 So there is only one record, so the one record is deleted. So now, if I say select star from vehicle, how many records will be there?
0.
0.
So is the record is really deleted from the table or not?
Yes.
Here
It's
in
not.
this session it was deleted,
Yes.
but not actually deleted.
This
Kind
is
of.
not deleted from the table, agreed?
Yes.
Yes.
Because I did not say
Yes.
commit. If I say commit, then only it will be deleted, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So I did not commit it. So the record is not deleted from the table. Agreed?
Yes.
Yes.
So ideally, you might be expecting when I say select star from vehicle, you might be expecting the record because the record is not deleted, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you don't see that record. You see zero records because in the same session, when you're sending a query, so it will go and grab the data from the temporary space, not from the table. Getting it?
Yes, Ramji.
So
Yes,
whatever the
Ram.
configurations you did in the same session, hold on, let me plug in my battery. Okay. So in the same session, Okay, cool. So in the same session, whatever the changes I did, those changes will be reflected, but they are not permanently reflected in the table. Getting it? Did everyone
Yeah.
understand that?
Yes, Ramji.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes, Ramji.
right now there are no
Yes,
records.
Ramji.
Right now there are no records because I deleted the record. I'm in the same session. But once I exit it, and when I open it again, will I see the records?
No.
No.
I should be able to see because I did not commit the records, right?
Yes.
What is the doubt here? I don't understand. Any questions here?
No, Ramji.
When you're saying that I don't see any records, I will see the records. Even though I delete the records, I'll see the records because they are not committed. It's a new session I'm opening now. Correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
Ramji.
Until unless I commit it, the data will not be deleted from the table. But in the same session, so you can when you delete it and when you select it, you don't see data because you're in the same session. But that is not actually there in the table. That is actually the record is there in the table, but it is saying that 0 records are there in the same session. Anyway,
Yeah.
I want everyone to answer
And
my question. Did
Okay.
everyone understand this or not?
Yes,
Yes.
Ramji.
Yes, Ramji. It was deleted from that session. But
Will I see the records in the table now or not in the new session?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
Because you
Did
because
not
it was not committed into the data.
right?
I mean, that database table.
Okay, so when I log in December 2019, when I log in, when I say select start from vehicle, what happened here? Did I commit it? They commit it or by any chance they commit it? No, right?
No.
So
No.
auto commit is happening.
No.
Auto commit is happening. 1 second. So vehicle value 100. So only 2 columns, right? So I inserted the record. One record is inserted, but I did not commit it. Let me exit and let me open a new session. Let me open a new session. Let us start from vehicle. Sorry, I open August, right? I have to open December, right?
Yes.
Start from vehicle. So still the record is same. I think what is happening here is, so if you shut down the laptop and restart the laptop, that is the time, because still it is recognizing this client. The client is still recognized even if you exit it. The client is still recognized somehow. I have to check it in Google. But if you shut down the laptop and if you open the lap, if you start the if you restart your laptop and if you open the client, then the server will not recognize the client. Isn't it?
Yes.
So that is not the
Yes.
that is not a big deal here. The thing that you have to learn here is whenever you do any DML queries, like whenever you insert any data into the table, whenever you delete any data from the table, whenever you update any data in the table, for these queries, you have to commit it explicitly. You have to commit the data. If you don't commit the data will not be stored in the table permanently.
Okay, Ramji.
Okay.
Okay, Ramji.
Now it is disconnected. Now let me connect. Disconnected from Oracle database. It is disconnected. Why it is giving SQL prompt? So let's start from vehicle. Not connected. Okay. Let me connect to connect. As
All DML operations are auto-committed, no, Ramji?
so that depends on the configurations.
Oh, okay.
It's not auto committed. It's not getting auto committed. If I shut down my laptop and if I restart my laptop, definitely I don't see the data.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got the same thing in the morning.
One second. Let me check the connect with database SQL query. One second. So there is a correct query also. I didn't remember the syntax of that. Connect to connect to connect. Okay, that's fine. Leave it. I will exit and I will correct it again. I didn't remember the syntax of the query. Yes.
I think CONN.
Sorry.
CONN and then username and password, like with a slash.
What is that? Connect?
CONN
I didn't
space
understand. UNN?
space username slash password. Then it will connect.
I didn't understand again. Connect to? Who is there?
I'll message
Connect
you.
to?
CONN. You should not write connect. CONN. That's it. CONN.
CONN
Space.
as right?
No.
To?
Oh, just space.
Username, password.
CO2 is
Not
there or not?
no.
Only CONN, then username slash password.
I don't think it will work.
It worked. Just now I tried. Yeah.
I don't know this. There is one more query connect. I have to check the connect query also. Okay. So now I connected to the database. So now if I say select star from
Vehicle.
vehicle. Oh, 1 second. Hold on. Let me disconnect first. Then connect. Connect. Sorry, CONN space December 2019 slash 19. Okay. Let's start from vehicle. Okay, fine. So I wanted you to try by shutting down your laptop and restart the laptops and see if the data is committed or not. So you don't commit the data. So then you shut down the laptop and restart the laptop. Then see if the data is available in the database or not. Okay.
Yes, Ramji.
Okay.
So until and unless you commit the data will not be committed permanently in the table. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So one more thing. For example, if I insert one more record, insert into employee, so not employee vehicle, vehicle values. If I insert a vehicle ID is 345 and vehicle name is some name. Okay. I insert one record. So how many records are there in the table? So let's start from vehicle. There are 2 records, correct?
Yes.
There are 2 records. So now if I say in this particular session, how many records are inserted?
In this, but one Ramji.
One.
Only 1 record I inserted, right? In this particular
Yes.
session.
Yes.
So if I do
Yes.
rollback, if I send a rollback query, the client is sending a rollback query, the rollback completed. So it is asking the database, please roll back it. Roll back it means what are the changes
Undo.
you made now? So please roll back that. What are the uncommitted changes? So when you send a rollback query, the database will see all the uncommitted changes and it will roll back all the changes. It will not be committed in the database. It will roll back the changes. So now when you say select star from vehicle, you see only one record because the other record is not inserted because you inserted the record, you got the second record, but you roll back the changes. You did not commit the changes, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
You
Yes,
roll back
Ramji.
the changes, those changes will not be committed into the database table. That's the reason. So now you are seeing only one record.
Yes.
But if you insert one more record again, so if you insert one more record again, 346, comma. So how many records are there now? How many records are there in the table? Total 3 records, right? Because I
Yes,
just
Ramji.
Yes.
Three,
and
three
I created
records.
one record and one record is already there in the table, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Select star from vehicle.
Vehicle.
So there are 3 records, correct?
Yes.
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 I will do commit. Now all the 3 records are permanently stored in the table, correct?
Yes.
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 Suppose if I delete from vehicle where vehicle ID equal to 245. Okay. So how many records will be deleted?
1.
1.
One,
So if I say
One
select
row.
vehicle, how many records will be there?
2.
2.
Two.
So now if I roll back the changes,
3.
and I say how many records will be there, select start
Three.
from vehicle,
3.
3.
Three.
because the changes are because you roll back the changes, you did not commit the changes. All the uncommitted
Yes.
changes will be rolled back. When you say commit, all the uncommitted changes will be committed, correct? For
Yeah.
example,
Yes.
if I delete the record again, now there are 2 records, right? But they are uncommitted. That is uncommitted record, correct?
Yes.
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 If I commit it, now changes are committed. Now only 2 records are permanently there in the table, correct?
Yes.
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 Now, even if I say roll back, how many uncommitted changes are there now? There are no uncommitted changes. All the changes are committed, correct?
Yes.
yes,
So only
Yes.
uncommitted changes will be rolled back. The committed changes will not be rolled back, correct?
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
So the rollback is complete, but none of the records are there are no uncommitted records. So it did not roll back anything, correct?
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
So
Yes.
it says select start from vehicle.
Vehicle.
How many records will be there?
2,
2.
Because I deleted one record, I
Two.
committed it. I deleted one record and I committed it. So only 2 records are there in the table. So even though I did roll back, nothing is rolled back because there are no uncommitted changes, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you have only 2 records, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
yes,
So did everyone understand what is meant by commit and rollback?
Yes.
Yes, Ram.
yes,
Even if you delete some records from the table, even if you delete some data from the table, even if you insert some record in the table, even if you update some record in the table, so all these things can be rolled back. Even if you did by mistake, you can roll back the changes by writing a rollback query, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you want to commit all the changes, you can write a commit query. Until and unless you write a commit query, the changes will not be committed in the table. All the DML queries, the data manipulation queries. Any questions?
No,
No.
Ramji.
No.
Only DML queries, not the data definition queries. So the commit and uncommit, the commit and rollback applies only for the DML queries because you're manipulating some data, you're changing some data. For example, if I create a table called sample table with a column called column 1, and its data type is varchar2, and the length of the column is 6 characters. Okay. So table created, correct?
Yes.
Now if I do
Yes.
rollback, will the table will be deleted?
No, it's
No.
auto commit.
Because it's a DDL
Auto
query,
commit.
it's a data definition query, or it's not a data, right? Only data will be rolled back and only data will be committed. It's not, the data definition will not be rolled back and data definition will not be committed, correct? It's like a it's
Yes.
DDL, this is a DDL query. The table will be created in the database forever, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any questions here?
No.
No.
You understand what is DDL and what is DML and what is commit and what is rollback?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Yes.
So for example, if I want right now, select star from student. How many records are there in the student table? There are no records, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I did not commit yesterday, correct?
Yes.
So insert into
Yes.
student values, insert into student values 100, and student name is ABC, and what is the marks, right? 56. So one record is created, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if I want to insert one more record, 200 comma UI comma marks is 78. One more record is inserted and I'll commit the data. So data is committed forever, correct?
Yes.
So now I have two records in the table. So now now I realize that okay, I have only three columns in the table. Actually, I should maintain the age also. I should maintain the age of a student in the database. I forgot to. I did not realize while creating this table. While creating the table, I did not realize that age is required. But later I realized that age is also required. I want to maintain the age of a student for some reason. For some reason, I want to maintain each and every student's age in the database. But while creating the table, I forgot to give that column, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
In the table, I gave only three columns: student ID, student name, and student marks. I did not give the
Marks.
student age column, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
after creating the table and after 3 months, so there are two students joined in my college. So, but after 3 months, I realized that I should maintain the age also. So then what should I do? I have
Alter
to
query.
I have to drop the table. Drop table. I have to delete the entire table. Correct. Drop table. Student. Now the student table is completely dropped from the database. There is no table called student in the database now. I dropped the table. Okay. So if you go and ask, select star from student. Select star from student. There is no. It's saying that. Okay, one
No
second.
such table exists.
Select star from
Select star.
student. It's a.
You
Select
gave him.
Uh, so it's saying that table or view does not exist, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Because this
Yeah.
particular table is no more present in the database. I dropped the entire table. See, deleting the data is different and dropping the table is different. So you're deleting the data in the table. Earlier, when I say, for example, right now select star from vehicle. How many records are there in the vehicle table? There are two records, correct?
Two records.
So when I
Yes.
delete from vehicle, so two rows are deleted and I'll commit it. These two rows are deleted forever, correct?
Yes.
So
Yes.
how many records are there in the vehicle table? Zero records, correct? The table is there in the database, but the data is not there in the table. There are no rows selected because there is no data in the table, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Table
Yes.
is there in the database, but the data is not there in the table. Agreed?
Yes.
Because I
Yes.
deleted the data. I deleted the data. So when you use a delete query, you're deleting the data. You're not deleting the table, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So, but if you want to delete the entire table, if you want to remove the entire table from the database, you have to use the drop query. So drop syntax drop table. Which table you want to drop? You want to drop vehicle table. Okay.
Vehicle table.
So table is dropped. Now if you run the same query, select star from vehicle. Earlier you got zero rows, no rows selected. Now you will get there is no table exist. There is no table in the
Exist.
this is the one you're getting now because you dropped the entire table. So delete query is different and drop query is different. Delete query is deleting the data in the table. It is not deleting the table. The table is still there in the database, but the data inside the table is deleted, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
But when you say drop table, table name, give the table name, which table you want to drop. So drop table, give the table name, then the entire table will be dropped, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now create the table again. Create table, okay, student. So I'll give the student ID. So I'll give SID for to make it simple. Student ID is SID. So number of 5, comma student name. I'll give varchar2 of 6, comma marks. So number of 3, comma yes, number of 3. Okay. So now, okay, the syntax is wrong. So create spelling is correct. Table student SID S name varchar to spelling wrong, correct?
Yeah,
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. CH.
So varchar2 comma marks comma is, yeah, now it will work. Now table is created, correct? Now I have a table with
Yes.
4 columns. Earlier I have only 3 columns. Then I realized that, oh, I forgot to have a 4th column. So then I have to drop the entire table and recreate the table, correct? But what is the problem with this approach?
Painstaking process of redoing everything. Lot of time.
It's not
The
about lot of
previous
time. I am
records will
losing data.
get
I am losing
deleted.
data because already 2 students joined in my college, but the data of those students are lost now, correct? I lost the data
Yes.
of the students, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I dropped the table, the entire table is gone. The data inside the table is also gone, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
I lost the data, which is not correct. I should not lose data anytime, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yes.
Yes.
Agree.
Yeah.
So this is not the right approach. So actually initially I created a table with 3 columns. So after 1 year, I realized that, oh, I should have a 4th column. For some reason, I want to maintain the age of each student. For some reason, I want to maintain the age of each student in the database. So then, what should I do? If I drop the entire table, all the students' information will be gone. I cannot afford to lose the students' information, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So because everything about the student is maintained in the database. So how much amount he paid and what is the due amount. So everything will be maintained in the database. I cannot afford to lose that. Correct?
Yes.
Did everyone understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
So that is not the right approach. I cannot drop the table and recreate the table again because I'm losing the data in that case. So now this table does not have any data, correct?
Yes.
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 So what should I do in that case? So for example, I have an insert query, insert into, yep, sorry, it's not employee, student, so values, student ID is 100, student name is ABCD, and student marks is 56, and student age is maybe 21. Okay, so this is the one record created. So now I'll create one more record. So 200 is the student ID. Student name is some student name, comma, marks is 34, comma, age is 22. So now I'll commit this data. Now there are 2 records in the table, correct?
Yes.
Now
Yes.
Yes.
I realize that, oh, I should maintain the gender also. I forgot to put the gender column. I want to maintain the gender column. So if I drop the table and recreate the table, I will lose the existing students data, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, then what I have to do? I have to change the definition of the table because the table is defined in such a way that when I create the table, I define the table in such a way that, so there are 4 columns in the table: SID, SNAME, and age and marks. Correct? These are the 4 columns I created. This is the definition of a table I have given. That is the data definition query. So create table. I define the table in such a way that the table has 4 columns, and I told the data type of each column. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I have to change my definition because I need a fifth column, correct?
Yes.
I
Yes.
have to change the definition of a table. I want to change the definition of a table and add a fifth column, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So you can use the alter query. So alter means you're altering the table. You're changing the table definition. Alter query is used to change the definition of a table. So you're sending
Okay.
this query from client to server. You're sending the query to database. From SQL plus client, you're sending the query to database. Then database will understand, oh, he's asking me to alter the table definition, so he will alter it, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So alter table, which table you want to alter? Student table, correct?
Student
Alter
table.
this particular student table I want to alter. What alteration I want to do? What changes I want to do in this table? I want to
Add
add a
column.
new column. I want to add a new column, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
I have to say add because you're adding a new column. You have to say add alter table student. You're altering the student table, but what alteration? You're adding it, correct? You're adding
Yes.
what you're adding? You're adding.
Gender. Gender.
So you can put the parenthesis, or you can, that's your wish. You can put the parenthesis gender. So varchar 2 of 6. Okay, because gender means male or female. It is a varchar. It's not a number, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the table is altered. Now how many columns are there in the table? How many columns are there in the table?
5.
5 columns.
Fine.
When I say
5 columns.
start from, when I say select star from student, I'm star means what? I'm selecting all the columns, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So now I got the first record. I got 100 student ID. ABCD is student name. 56 is the marks, and 21 is the age. And gender there is no value because there is no value I have given, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now what I'll do is I'll update. So update student set gender equal to male, where student ID equal to 100, correct?
100. Yes.
Yes.
So I'm updating the student table. I'm setting the gender equal to male, where student ID equal to 100, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this one row is updated. So now I can update queries has to be committed, correct?
Yes.
Even
Yes.
HTML query. So now you go and see. So let's start from student. Now you see male in the first
Male.
record. In the second record does not have the gender value, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So now I'll update student set gender equal to female,
Female.
where SID equal to 200, correct?
Yes.
So one row is
Yes.
updated. So I send
Yes.
I asked the database, please update this record where student ID equal 200. Please set the gender equal to female. So the database understands the query language. It understands that query. It will update the record in the table, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So commit it because each and every update needs to be committed. Otherwise, you can write a commit query at the end. After writing 2-3 updates, you can send the commit. All the uncommitted changes will be committed, correct?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Any questions here?
No.
So
No.
did
No.
you understand how to alter the definition of a table? How to change the definition of a table?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so today I created 5 columns in the table. But after 10 days, if I ask you, hey, how many columns are there in the student table? Will you remember that? You can't remember, right? Because how can you remember how many columns are there in the student table and how many columns are there in the employee table and how many columns are there in the vehicle table? You can't remember that, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So if you want to look at how many columns are there in the student table and how many columns are there in the employee table, you can send a query to the database. You can ask the database, hey database, please describe. So please describe. DESC means describe. Okay. DESC. Describe. Please describe student table. You're asking the database, hey database, please describe me the student table. The database will give you the response back. When you send a query to the database is giving the response back, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So it is giving the entire description of the table. So this is the definition of a table. This is the description of a table, correct?
Yes.
So you can ask the database, hey database, please describe me about the student table, or please describe me about the employee table, correct?
Yeah.
So these are the three columns I create in the employee table, correct? And this is the data type. This is the number data type. What is the length of the each column? 6 characters, 6 digits can be there in this column, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you need not remember anything. You can ask the database every time whatever you want. Please tell me the description about this table. How many columns are there in this table, and what is the data type of each column, and what is the length of each column? So you can ask the database, correct?
Okay.
Yes.
So today we learned about what is DML queries, what are DDL queries, correct? And I also told you what is alter query, how to change the definition of a table. So alter query is a DDL query, it's not a DML query because I'm not manipulating the data, I'm changing the definition of a table. So it's a DDL query, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So alter query is a DDL query. So I told about alter query, I told about commit and rollback, and I told about DML and DDL. And I also told about the describe query, DESC, for description of a table, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So till now we have learned about some multiple queries. You learned how to insert the data in the table, how to update the data in the table, how to read the data from the table, and how to delete the data from the table, and how to alter the table definition, and how to create the table, how to describe the table, how to commit the data in the table, and so these are the things you learned till now, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, Ramji.
Okay, so with this, I want everyone to practice these things thoroughly. So before I go into some complex topics,
Okay.
okay?
Okay,
So
Ramj.
yeah, today I started the class very late, so I have to stop the class because it's already 10:40 in the East Coast. So let me have a class tomorrow at uh, 8 o'clock is fine for everyone.
Yes, Ramji.
Yeah.
8 o'clock Eastern time.
8:30 is fine.
8 o'clock is fine.
Okay, I think some people have some problems with 8 o'clock. So can we have the class at 8:30?
Yes, Ramji.
Yes,
Yeah.
Ramji.
And Varlakshmi, will you attend the class at 8:30?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, please attend the class, Varlakshmi. Don't miss the classes. So
Yeah.
because we are going into very interesting topics and the useful topics in the real time.
Yeah. Okay, Ramji.
Okay.
Yeah. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Ramji.
Bye.
Okay.